Hi everyone, Randy here. Like I promised in my last video, I was going to start with other videos that pertain to the subject of being empathic, or some people like to call it sensitive people. Um, and again, I have many other videos planned in my head, which has been keeping me up pretty much late at night thinking about them, and I'm just gonna say now that I'm going to be very busy. Uh, but on that note, let's get started. So basically, I'm gonna start out saying I'm an empathic person. Um, I'll actually clue you in on which levels I am after going through some of the levels that there are later on in this video. But I'm still in a learning phase, and as always, I will always be into the learning phase, and much of you probably, or much of you will be in the learning phase. And you're gonna always grow and discover your abilities and ways to cope and just more stuff. But I've known about the abilities that I've had for a long time. My major awakening was probably 20 years ago, and I didn't know what I was, or the whole extent of it, until about a year ago. And with knowing that, I'm able to work on fine-tuning some of those abilities and trusting my intuition more now than I've done so in the past. So this video is a little entry level on explaining what an empath is, touching just kind of on the basics and awareness, and which I still find kind of fascinating, but I will try and add some of my own personal experiences to this to give you an idea of where I am at with what I have learned. And just I'm no way an expert in the field, and I'm basically passing on knowledge, what I have learned, and I'm hoping to inspire at least one person. That is my whole goal. And if I inspire just that one person, that in itself is the greatest reward to me. So I guess on that, let's get right into it. The definition of empathy is basically the capability to share and understand others' emotion and feelings. But put simply, we absorb other people's feelings and emotions and experiences basically kind of as our own. Sometimes we have a hard time distinguishing between what is our own feelings and what may be someone else's. But with practice and learning more about yourself, you kind of get a handle on, you know, if it's your emotion or not. And I'll get more into that after a little bit here. But and then as empaths, we are also healers as well. Um, which, yes, we have that ability, and it's basically one that heals or attempts to heal. This is one of the aspects I'm currently working on developing. With with that being said, I won't get into much of this at, in this video. I will have another video probably pertaining to this. I mean, I'm trying to learn more about it, and I will do a video and tell you what I've learned and what works, and see how everything goes in the future. But basically, the common signs of an empath include the like I said, the tendency to soak up other people's emotions and even physical sensations like a sponge. Um, Strong intuitive abilities, chaotic or fluctuating emotions. It's kind of like I woke up this morning and oh my god, I had so many different emotions flowing. I knew right away. I mean, it was not me, because one minute I'd be sad, one minute I'd be kind of depressed, which is even worse than sad. A little anxious, not too bad. Um, just fluctuations really bad, and I knew it wasn't me, and I got down to the bottom of it. But anyways, the other ones are like moodiness, intense sensitivity, highly creative, inability to watch violence, which I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe more sensitive people. I can watch violence. I mean, it does bother me, but I take it as it is. It's like if it's TV, it's just TV. So, and more is like a tendency towards anxiety and addictions to stuff. A tendency to attract wounded people, people that are needing help, which I get a lot of that. Emotionally, physically, pretty much if they need help, they find me for, I don't, it's weird, they find me. But other aspects is like gentle and caring in nature, which I happen to be very much so. Some people can have chronic fatigue, digestive issues at times, and they're also drawn to like healing professions like your psychiatrists, physicians, doctors, nurses. But yeah, empathy is basically the ability to read and understand people and be in tune with or resonate with others, and whether that be, I mean, that would be voluntarily and actually involuntarily, and it's a lot more involuntarily actually, from my experience. But sometimes it can be controlled, and then sometimes we just get hit with emotions like a ton of bricks. And in my experience, it can be in the same room as a person, or hundreds, even thousands of miles away. Um, but as empaths, we also have the ability to scan other people's psyche for thoughts and feelings, and also past, present, and future occurrences. Um, Many of us are unaware of how this works, which I don't. I just take it as, day by day. But it's kind of like we've long accepted that we are sensitive to others, and we can have that ability to feel another's true emotions to a point where we can relate to that person in sensing their true feelings, and the feelings that actually run deeper than the ones showing on their surface. Um, People often put on a show of expression, which is kind of a learned trait of hiding your authentic expression in increasingly demanding society, basically. Um, we can sense the truth behind the cover, um, which we act compassionately to help that person to express themselves, and make them feel at ease, and not alone. I've had many experiences with that, but and I have also wondered, where my abilities come from, and how did I get this gift? And recently, I've actually figured out, um, just a few months ago, actually, that my mom has these abilities as well. I mean, she always complains like, oh, she's so anxious, and that she feels like she's crawling, want to crawl out of her skin. And I've had those feelings, and that one day it dawned on me. It's like, you know, I think this is, what's going on. I mean, you're empathic, I'm empathic. So, which relieved her a lot, knowing that, it's not herself. So I was kind of educating on her a lot about it, and she's feeling a lot better about it. But I have also just recently, which is like maybe a month or two ago, um, that I found out my cousins actually on my dad's side of the family also has abilities. Um, their abilities are a little bit different than mine, as far as um, the level. Um, I am more with dealing with the living people, and they deal more with the people that passed on. But that's a level. That's different levels of empathic abilities, which um, anyone or any empathic person can um, learn how to uh, learn how to use, I guess. Um, but after doing some more research on empath, and I mean reading articles and stuff, and I've actually found out that being empathic is actually genetic. It is passed down from from the DNA in past generation to generation. Um, it's actually studied by both traditional science and alternative practitioners, and basically we have hundreds of millions of neurons in our enteric system, which is our digestive system. It controls the gastrointestinal system, and a lot of those feelings, like intuition and stuff, we always say, oh, trust your gut feeling, or you have these gut feelings, and that is why, actually, it's referred basically to our second brain. Um, and when people say trust your gut, because those neurons we have more neurons in our system, the enteric system, than actually, I believe, in our whole spinal, or um, like in our spinal. Um, so, yeah, and I was saying, and we have more um, neurons in our enteric system than actually our nervous system, I believe. But, um, but anyway, um, basically, this is where we learn or normally feel our gut feeling, relaying messages to our brain. Um, and actually, this is my process. Um, I'll feel stuff coming to my gut, and in my gut actually sends it to my brain, and my brain deciphers um, bits and pieces of the messages I do get in my gut. Um, uh, yeah, that'll be another video later. I was going to tell you an experience, but I don't know how to say this without actually. Um, it's kind of weird, but we'll deal with that later. But like I said, they come in bits and pieces, and my brain forms the message, and it's kind of how I know that what someone wants to talk to me about, or tell me, or something's gonna happen. Not like it's more like a personal experience with someone, not like reading or seeing the future. Basically, it's more of a person to person type situation. Um, I would love to see the future. Kind of. I don't know. Maybe it'd be scary. But so basically, trust your gut. Um, I mean, it's talking to you for a reason. Um, and actually, last week I came across this documentary on Netflix. Um, I found it very, very interesting. Um, it's about intuition, the power of intuition. Um, I suggest watching it. It's called Insight. I can't even say it. Insight, and that's spelled INN space SAEI. Yeah. Um, the power of intuition. Like I said, I found it fascinating. It's kind of, I don't know. It's you've got to watch it. I suggest it. Um, but all right, we'll move on. But basically, we often possess the ability to sense others on many different levels. We become very proficient in reading another's body language, eye movements, and this is not in itself empathy, but it is a side effect that comes from being an observer of others, which I've always been like an observer. Um, that's how I get a lot of my information, and I'm sure you too, if you think about it. But in a sense, we actually have a complete communication package, um, by reading everything that we see, we hear, feel, touch, whatever. Um, so while there is much we don't know and understand how empathy works, there is some information that we do know. Stuff like um, everything has this energetic vibration or frequency. Um, and as an empath, we're able to sense these vibrations and recognize even the subtlest changes, which are undetectable by the naked eye, um, or any of the five senses for that matter. And even word of expression hold on energetic patterns, which originates, from the speaker. They have a specific meaning particular to that speaker. Behind that expression, like, is power, or power or energy. And for example, I guess, like hate often brings about like intense feeling that immediately covers, the word, and the word hate becomes strengthened by, um, with that speaker's feelings, and it is that person's feelings or energy that we actually pick up, um, either whether spoken or thought or just even felt without even with like verbal or bodily expression. So I'm going to, let's see, we'll go through the 10 different levels of empath now, and that way I can tell you kind of which ones I am. We got the psychometry, the ability to, um, receive energy, information, and impressions from like objects, photographs, or even places. Um, that is in itself hard to do, I think, but that's my opinion. I've been always a more person to person, and I can't read photographs of people, the energy from it. I can say they're smiling or feeling sad. I mean, you can see their eyes basically. Maybe some, I guess I have a little bit, just, I can read their language they're doing in the camera. Um, but beyond that, it has to be like a quick capture. It can't be like a posed capture. I mean, I guess. But another one of the levels is a telepathy, which is the ability to read people's thoughts. Yeah, and then we have mediumship, which is the ability to feel the presence and energies of spirits, which actually that's on my dad's side. Um, they've got the mediumship, and then they also have other ones too, but that's more apparent. Then we have physical healing. It's just the ability to feel other people's physical symptoms in your own body, actually. And you often have the ability to heal or even transform or transmutate those the feelings or whatever's wrong, or those symptoms. We have emotional healing, which is the ability to feel another person's emotions, like, and I'm getting off. Never mind. I'm just gonna keep going through this list. Um, then we have animal communication, which is the ability to hear, feel, and communicate with animals. You have like your um, horse whisperer, people like that. Um, then we have nature. It's the ability to read, feel, and communicate with nature and plants, trees. Um, and then we have geomancy, which is the ability to read the energy and signals transmitted by the earth. Many are actually able to feel and predict natural disasters before they occur, which is kind of cool. Um, then we have precognition, which is the ability to feel when something important is about to happen. Usually it can be manifested in dreams, or as a physical emotional sensation. Uh, for instance, like dread, anxiety, or even excitement. And we have claircognizant, which is the ability to simply know something that needs to be done, or is or something that's true or misleading, or someone that's being true or misleading. Uh, if they're lying or they're being truthful, you understand. Um, Basically, and often this type of empath will just kind of know when something is right to do or not to do, or when like I said, if someone is like, lying or hiding something, or if they're telling the truth. But yeah, that's the 10 there for you. But being an empath can be difficult and confusing, but with awareness of your gifts and abilities, you can refine them and and use them to guide, heal, and protect yourself, and protect the people you love even. But okay, so all right, I'll get into the levels that I possess. I possess the emotional healing, the precognitive healing, and telepathy. Um, yeah, those are the three that I've reached so far. I'm working to strengthen them even more and strengthen other ones that I would like to know or strengthen or to be able to do, like the healing, stuff like that. Um, but like I said, with the levels that I do have, I'm thinking about maybe I will get into another video sharing my experiences, but I haven't decided yet because it's kind of personal information actually. I don't know. I got to think about it. But moving on, so this video doesn't get too long. Um, I'm kind of being serious and I'm not being fun like I normally am, but later videos I'll be fun. um, but this, yeah, like I said, this is more emotional or more of a informational video. Sorry. So how to become a healed and empowered empath. Um, when we can literally feel the pain of others or close, our lives can become basically roller coaster rides of extreme highs and lows. However, the ability to experience the suffering of others also opens us up to deeply vital emotions of compassion and love, which is awesome, I think. But being an empath is only a curse when we have a weak sense of ourselves and poor barriers and a tendency to resist or attach to emotions we experience. Um, I always joke, I mean, I always said before, not jokingly before, that it's kind of a curse. But now I hold true that it's actually a gift. And in the back of my mind, it's getting further away where it's a curse, but it's the opportunity for me to help people that I love, um, that I have compassion for. I mean, I love everyone, and I think I mean I want to love life, which I do. Sometimes, there's bad days. Everyone has bad days, but we get through them. But being an empath actually is a gift, and the key to becoming a healed and empowered empath lies in working and developing an individual identity. That's where I was telling you need to learn your feelings and how you feel with your feelings, and be able to determine when it's not your feelings that you're feeling. Um, Also, like, clear boundaries, not having attachment to emotions, and you're able to kind of resist emotions. It's hard to resist them when they come flooding into you. Um, but actually, I'll get on with some ways to deal with that in a little bit here. Um, but the first step in becoming a mature empath is to learn how to ground yourself in your body firmly. Um, and actually, the examples of practices that all empaths will find beneficial will be like mindfulness, meditation, yoga, qigong. Um, Breathing practices are really good. Progressive muscle relaxation really helps, even like at night when you're trying to sleep. Um, Body awareness. There's also a practice called SOAR, um, and it stands for surrender, observe, accept, and release. Um, but basically, I have my own version of that technique I developed on my own, even without, um, not even knowing about SOAR. I developed this on my own. Um, like I said, it kind of goes just right along with that practice. Basically, when I have an emotion connection with going on with someone, or or more than one person, um, this technique that I've developed on my own, it really works for me. But it may not work for everyone. Test it out, see how it goes for you. People learn have to learn their own ways of dealing, but basically my version, like I said, is like the SOAR technique. The first step is what I do is relax. I take a few deep breaths, and then I um, consciously surrender basically to the emotion without fighting it, and I let the emotions, I feel the emotions within me before I actually surrender to them. Um, it's kind of a learning process to kind of develop sensing the type of feeling you do have, and kind of you can track sometimes you can track who they're actually coming from, with the way it feels, which is actually a really good idea. But then the next step is you observe that's basically observing the emotion, and then in doing that, you usually ask myself, um, is this my emotion? Do I have a reason to feel this way? Um, and usually with the emotion of someone else is heightened inside you. Like, if you're anxious, you feel like you want to crawl out of your skin. I mean, literally, you feel like you want to crawl out of your skin. It's not, I'm not kidding on that one. Um, yeah, and just like depression, I mean, sad, you literally feel like crying. It's very heightened. If you have, I mean, I'm sure you've experienced some of that, but that's what it's actually from someone else. And and it is very overwhelming at times. But there's even some times where, like even at work, where I have this feeling of it's hard to breathe, and I know it's everyone at work, which is only like 4 others, working with me. We just all get kind of overwhelmed with what we're doing. So, I mean, I know that's when I can't breathe. I know everyone is feeling that way. But that's when you realize that it's not your emotion. And then the next step is you need to accept them to truly define that it's not your emotion that you're dealing with. But now the next thing I do is, in my own way, I reach out to that person that I've connected with at that time with that emotion. Well, I kind of do a cryptic message on Facebook, or I start texting a few people that I know that you know, and I track them down. I mean, and it's like, and I talk them through stuff, and honestly, when I because I do that, that's the easiest way for me to have that emotion dissipate. When I connect with that person to make them feel better. And when that emotion dissipates inside me, then I know the issue has been resolved. Um, there's also another thing is, instead of trying to track who you're connected with at the time, um, is you can release the feelings. Um, I have a hard time doing this part of it, but as you go through the steps of like the source, surrounding, observing, accepting, and releasing, and that's basically what I do. Eventually you'll sense the feelings dissipate. Um, but like I said, connecting with that person, you finally figure out who it's coming from. That's when you can make it dissipate faster. But sometimes that's hard to do, to try and figure out who it is. But any technique actually that can help you get out of your mind and into experiencing the present moment with non-judgment and non-resistance will help you as an empath. But anyway, so why are you a gift to this world? And basically, in a world full of fear, greed, cruelty, egotism, and immense pain, your sensitivity is an immense blessing. Your sensitivity is a gift this world desperately needs. The ability to care deeply for others is something our world lacks, and to a severe degree. Your gift is not only closes the gap between people, but it also opens the door to loving kindness and other extrasensory abilities such as intuition. Um, can you can you imagine what the world would be like if we were all sensitive and caring and receptive to each other? We would be living in paradise, actually. Yeah, I mean, that ideally that would be awesome. Um, but we don't have that, and that is why being an empath is a gift. So honor this experience of being an empath for the great lessons and opportunities it presents. It presents you with. So on that note, I will end this video, and I will make some more videos, and I will try not to be as serious as I am today or tonight. We're gonna have a fun ride. um, Yeah, we're gonna love life, live life, and enjoy life. All right, till next time. Mwah.